Riding down the middle median. It's just a painted on median, and this car just did a U-turn right next to me and like cut me off basically. And I was rolling up to a stop sign. I wasn't going fast. He wasn't going fast, but it was enough to where, he knocked me off my bike. I flew over his hood, and my elbow, I landed on my elbow, like right on my back. So my elbow was like tucked into the back side of my back, and I landed on it there. So I've got like some pain in my back right, and my right elbow is like inflamed. So I'm about to go in for x-ray, and then we'll go to CT. They say I'm in good shape. It's not like there's no bones sticking out anywhere. And like all my legs have full motion, all my hands have full motion, and they rubbed up and down my spine, no pain. So my first thought, so I was like in a daze, so it kind of knocked the wind out of me, and I was like, oh, my chest. It just kind of like knocked the wind out of me, which makes me think like the front of my chest hurt, but it was really just like the back. And then like I hit my head, but not too hard. I think I hit it like right up there on that side, but that I had a hat on, but so I was like dazed from like hitting my head. Everyone's like, so you look up and all these people are just like coming around you and like staring down at you, and you're like in a daze. And the car just drove off. I mean, the dude like seemed like he was like trying to get around the bus and trying to move, and like I could barely, so I'm like trying to look at his license plate, and it's all blurry vision. And I ended up writing down like 7 numbers, no characters or no alphabet characters. I wrote down 7 numbers. I got my phone and I remembered it, and I wrote it down as soon as I could. But no one got a license plate. I got a description of the dude, the car, and what would seem to be partial license plate. But I just sat there, and a nurse was standing right above me talking to me, and she was just like, don't move. And gosh, I feel like the ambulance was there within just minutes, just so quick. And they started cutting my clothes off, cut my shoelaces, my jacket, my backpack. And I just remember kind of looking around, and like they handed me my phone. My phone's fully intact, no screen or nothing messed up. And the bike, I mean, it didn't seem like the bike was really damaged. They asked me about driving in traffic like that, and I was just like, well, the cars are very predictable versus the bicycle lanes that have people and food vendors and other bikes and scooters and lots of unpredictability. And the predictability of traffic is very simple and easy, right? Been a messenger for a few years, it seems. I mean, this is my first incident, and not even really any close calls other than like maybe, I don't know, anyway. And the ambulance was there, and they started asking me questions, and I was on a flatboard just like instantly. And and then someone from this restaurant came out, and they're like, well, we'll hold on to his bike. Here's my information. I can hold the bike for now, and he can get it later. So I guess somebody has the bike, and the police officer did that, or I don't know. Some police was on scene, or maybe it was another EMT. I don't know. And then, so someone has my bike, and it didn't look that damaged, like the bike itself, but I don't know. We'll see how damaged it is. And then they put me in this collar and get me into the ambulance, and then it was like, I don't know, it seemed like 10 minutes. It was a bumpy ride. No pain meds, no fluids, nothing. They just like put me on the board and kind of wrapped, no belts. Oh, I gotta go get x-ray.
Hello.
So it's interesting, like I was in shock and real emotional, and then also like yelling at people too. Like there was 4 people in the ambulance at one point, and this dude just grabs my right arm like it's nothing. And I'm like, what the fuck, don't you know my right arm is the problem? And then afterwards, one of the drivers, is like the main guy, he was awesome. He's like, oh, that dude's been on the job for like 3 days. He's like, I'm so sorry about it. I was like, I'm not mad. I was like, I was just telling him, like, I wasn't mad at him. I'm just like, that shit hurts. And I just let him know. And then same thing happened when I finally got into a room. They tried to like move me onto the bed, and some dude just grabs my right arm. I'm like, it's my right arm, that just hurt. Like, how does that not come up at all? But it happened twice, which I thought was interesting. It's like first thing on deck, like when people walk up, you think they'd be like, oh, broken right arm or right arm damage or something to indicate the point of damage when you go to move them. But anyway, just a couple of like, support my right arm, grab the right arm, kind of a thing. But yeah, the first real motion was just like shock. I was just like, oh God, Jesus Christ, oh Lord, oh God. And I was just like in amazement. I was just amazed. Like I was thinking like, oh, my head's like, I wasn't like bleeding profusely anywhere. Like I guess I have some scratches on my legs and stuff and my elbow, but nothing's bleeding bad. I didn't like scrape across the ground. I didn't, or drag on the asphalt. I just like landed or whatever. So like no bleeding, no bones sticking out of skin. And I was just like amazed just over and over. I just kept talking. I was just like, oh my God, Jesus Christ, oh Lord, oh man. And the guy's like, I was like, dude, I've just been amazed these last 5 minutes. I like stopped and did a self-check and he's like, yeah, it's called shock. And I was like, that's what shock is? And I was like, I don't know. He's like, well, were you planning on that happening? I was like, no. He's like, yeah. He's like, that's what everybody does. But this dude was super cool. And he was perfect. And I was like, I thanked him. I was like, you handled, I was like, you did a great job. He's like, yeah, dude, I know. He got me into the hospital. And I'm in trauma at Los Angeles County Medical Center, which is where all the trauma patients go. And like, so all they could do with me, with like I'm like low-level trauma patient with my injuries. Like like he said, it wasn't the lowest level, but almost the lowest level of trauma with my injuries. And they wheeled 2 guys by me. Like one guy had gotten shot 6 times and like died, and the other guy had gotten shot also and might be alive. But they're like, yeah, those 2 guys got wheeled like right past me. But I had no idea. I'm like in this fucking collar. I can hardly even, like I can move my neck, but I can't move my neck because it's immobilized. I have to do a CAT scan. Claustrophobic. Look at that thing. I'm gonna fit in that? Fuck no. Then have to so let's see. So yeah, so when they got me here, I'm just like literally sitting in this doorway waiting for a bed to open, for a room to open. They put me in bed 4, and they so I just literally sat there. No pain meds, no fluids. They've given me morphine and a tetanus shot since, but just literally sat there for what seemed like 20 minutes. And I'm not so bad. I'm not like in pain. Like I can't really move my right arm. Like the range of motion is poor, but it seems like muscular, right? Because like I felt all over my hand, and I really can't find an incredible point of pain. Like it hurts to the touch, no severe pain. And and so just kind of sitting there, and no big deal really. So then they have to move me over from the ambulance gurney over to the hospital bed. Somebody supported my right arm, and the dude in the hospital who did the same thing, where he like wrenched my right arm. He's like telling everybody. He's like, right arm damage, right arm injury, right arm injury. He's like, oh shit. He's like, I freaking pulled on this guy's injured right arm. So he's telling everybody. So they moved me from the gurney to the hospital bed, and it was painless. It was very simple. Like my back, I don't know. It just feels like you kind of slept on it wrong. Like I just need to massage it out. I wish I had my massage down here. That'd be no shit. Sitting there waiting, I'm like texting Uber Eats and Doordash and like trying to cancel, because I had 3 orders with me. I'm trying to swallow and I can't. And it's like making me feel like oh, I'm gonna choke and die right now. I had 3 Uber Eats and Doordash orders with me. So I'm like texting with the people. They're like, what happened? Where'd you go? Where are you lost? And this one guy, Tiny B, that was his name at the Chipotle. His Uber Eats name is Tiny B. I wonder what the B stands for. It's like, he kept using the word F-I-N-N, like finta, like gunta, finta. I was finna cancel my order. I can't be finna eat cold dinner. Where's my food? I was like, dude, I'm in the hospital. I was like, I got in an accident. And he's like, well, you gonna still bring me my food? And I was like, bro, I was on my bike. I got hit by a car. I'm in the hospital. And he's like, well, what about my food? And I was like, well, you can still tip extra for my hospital bills. Like the least fucking compassion ever. Like I was fitting to eat some cold dinner, something like that or whatever. So then the other two people are like, hey, are you okay? Or, hey, are you lost? What's going on? And like one guy's like, oh, I'm so sorry, but cancel on your end if you can. And then I had to like call support twice for Doordash because they didn't realize I had 2 orders. They canceled one, and then I had to call back, cancel the other. Got all those orders canceled while I'm like fresh in the ER waiting to get in a room. But I was able to do all of that and got those orders canceled. CT scan selfie. There you go. Oh, so they finally get me into my room, the ER4, and doctor starts off flashlight in the eyes, and then he starts doing all these preliminary tests, touching everything, pushing everything on my pelvis and abdomen, on my hands and toes and fingers and legs, and having me move what I can, and just testing everything. And he was like real cool, and he moved my arm around a little bit and just kind of felt in there, see that. Having me like sign all this shit with my left hand, it just looks all, what is that, more squiggly? like when that meme whenever the dad's teaching his kid how to write in cursive, and they're not doing it right, so the dad's like, yeah, kind of like that, just more squiggly. It's like, that's not what oh my god. Anyway, so that's what my signature looks like some seismic reading. But so we did all that, and then the cops were like asking me questions, and then the same cop came through and asked me all the same questions again. And so basically the way that it works, so downtown LA, rush hour, there's 50 people that like seems like that are looking down over me, right, as I'm like dazed and confused looking in the sky. And they nobody got a picture of the car or the license plate or nothing. So the guy drove off, and that's it, right? And and he says the way that the cops work, so I can lay my hand flat on my belly and it's okay, but if I try to make a fist, there's like a strain, like quite a strain on my forearm underneath. Like it doesn't hurt, it's just like it's strained. Like, so the way that the police work is that if something's broken, then they'll write a report. If not, then I have to fill out something on the internet. And yeah, this fucking what they call it, C brace? I don't fucking know, this neck brace, just digging into the back of my fucking head, dude. But they, are we ready?
Yeah, we're gonna move you on over, okay?
Okay. CT scan time. Alright, so I got to do the CT scan. And just like I said about being claustrophobic, first thing was they like put your arms in your chest like a mummy and put some sort of wrap to where you can't move your fucking arms. So I'm like mummified in this fucking thing, and I can't move. The first 10 seconds were just brutal. Like, oh my god, I'm claustrophobic. Get me out of here. Oh my god. I'm like, am I gonna like rip myself out of here? It's fucking miserable. So this all happened 3 hours ago. It's 8:30. It happened around 5:30. They don't know if they can give me fluids because the water messes up whatever's going on. But I've gotten 2 doses of morphine, which worked great the first time. Now I just got one like 20 seconds ago, 6 milligrams. And so I think the adrenaline of it all has kind of worn off. I'm getting a little tired, a little sluggish, but it's, yeah, the pain is good, I guess. So they did confirm that it's broken. There's a break. It was like the original, or the initial answer to the x-rays that I got. And so there's like, my arm's starting to get stiff now, and like I still can't make a fist with my right hand. And just kind of getting tired. but I feel okay. Man, they got me fucked up right now. Check these out, though. She calls them lemon swabs. I can't drink any water or have an IV of fluid, so these things are like sweetest candy, hydration, cotton swabs. They're great. CAT scans back, x-rays back, neck and head and spine are good. Fracture in my, what did he call it? Delta humerus, the bone leading to your elbow. There's a crack, but it may not require surgery, so that's good. They put the splint on. I'm gonna have to be on a splint for 1 to 2 weeks and then follow up with a orthopedist. Go from there. They had to mess with my arm big time to get it in this splint, so I requested my 3rd dose of pain meds. Alright, so I just did the 2nd round of CT scan. This time they put this contrast fluid in there, in my IV. So I just have this IV in that is just an open portal to my body, and they're like, all right, let's just put this in there. Oh yeah, let's put this in there. Oh yeah. They use it a lot, so it's interesting. So then the contrast therapy. So they put this fluid in my IV that illuminates my veins and vessels, looking for clots, and basically just allows for more discovery. And so my hands got real warm, and like I felt like I was gonna pee. This like sensation in my balls, and it was interesting. But just same thing as the last CT scan, 3 or 4 minutes. Went through, did its thing, and then not as claustrophobic this time. I didn't mummify me. It was a little more open, and so they did another CT scan so they could check my ribs. I've had 6 of these lemon Q-tips. They're delicious. So they needed to do more fucking elbow x-rays, but I'm in a splint and they couldn't get any angles, so he had to fucking contort it all these different ways. Lift it up, set it down, push it, lift it, bend it, do this. It was miserable. That's been the most miserable part of this, I guess, the whole time. And yeah, so we got more x-rays after it said it. So the doctor said that might not need surgery, right? That's good, right? All right, your man's going home. Got the bags. Got no shirt on with the jacket, because that's how we gonna roll now. So good news, all things considered, hit my head. Hurt both sides of my chest. And all I have is a broken humerus, the bicep bone. I gotta wait 1-2 weeks, talk to orthopedist. Just prescribed me Tylenol and ibuprofen. Man, like getting ready and changing and putting my clothes on and shit. Fucking got nauseous, like the pain in my arm, like something simple. You don't realize how your right arm starts flexing. Dang. So though they're calling me an Uber, I just got a text. They're calling me an Uber so I can get home. And all right, it is 1 a.m. 7.5 hours later, and I am at home. And yeah, day 1 of this is over.